No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Hip Hop TXL.
I tried to give you niggas the benefit of the doubt, though.
What's going on, guys? It's Eric, and I'm bringing you a brand new series today. It's gonna be my Montreal, my league, last days in Brooklyn. This is episode 1, part 1, and basically, hopefully you guys enjoy this series. As you see, I'm gonna try and make this as hard as I can for myself. That's why I decided to use my league, and I just wanted it to be super difficult. I put trade negotiation, contract negotiation, and CPU aggressiveness on 100, just so it's hard for me to get players, move players. I want the trades to be very hard. I'm gonna try and keep it as realistic as possible. You guys leave your comments in the description. Tell me what you think about the series, and if you like it at the end of the video. So the team that I decided to choose is the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets have one of the hardest situations in the NBA right now. They have little assets, they have no draft picks, and it's gonna be hard to build around them. I decided to use the 2016 NBA draft. I like this one because it's not very high, it's not very low, and everybody's fairly balanced. This is the target list that I decided to go after. A lot of these guys are great at doing a few things. I like Julius Randle because he could take the ball up and down the court. This is my trading block right here: Brook Lopez, Thaddeus Young, Jared Jack, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Bojan. And the first player that's moved is Thaddeus Young. I sent him to Toronto. I think this is kind of realistic right here. You guys tell me what you feel about these trades in the description, if you find them realistic or not. I sent Thaddeus to Toronto for Patrick Patterson, a first-round pick this year from the Raptors, next year from the Clippers, and Bruno Caboclo and Patrick Patterson. And I give a Bojan, a second-round pick, and Thaddeus Young, which definitely gonna help the Raptors stretch the floor. He's more consistent than Patrick Patterson, even though I'm a huge Patrick Patterson fan. The next trade is Jared Jack and Andrea Bargnani to Indiana for a first-round pick this year. Shane, that's his name, right? Shane, right? And Chase Budinger. Now, to be fair, this one's kinda on there, you know what I mean? This trade doesn't go down with the Celtics. As you see, I'm trying to get my first-round pick back. That's basically the goal of this season, to get my first-round pick back from the Celtics. But as I was saying, talking about the Indiana trade, I don't know how I feel about that one. Is Jared Jack worth a first-round pick? When you look at Indiana's situation, you look at it, yeah, they have George Hill. But after George Hill, they really don't have a backup point guard. So that's why I was trying to send George Hill down there to Indiana to, you know, basically give Paul George another point guard coming off the bench when George Hill takes a break. And as you see right now, I'm trying to work out a trade to send Brook Lopez to the Suns. This does not go down. The Suns don't give me what I want. I wanted 2 second-round picks and a first-round pick in the future, and I was willing to take Tyson Chandler's contract and take on Sonny Weems, but the Suns weren't having it. So I went out and I signed Larry Sanders and Tony Roden, which are 2 great players in their own respect. They're really good players. They fill a role for us. Larry Sanders is going to give us a nice double-double, and Tony Roten's a player that can give us a nice double-double every now and then, put up nice stats too. So I decided to go after him also, because we don't own our pick, and we're trying to make Boston look at our pick as less valuable, and hopefully they'll trade it back to us by the trade deadline. And this is what I decided to do. I decided to play Larry Sanders at power forward right next to Brook. That's 2 twin towers right there. Brook Lopez is a great defender. Larry Sanders is a great defender. Brook Lopez is a very good offensive big man, and those rebounds that Brook doesn't pick up, I'm pretty sure Larry will grab those. So this is what our starting lineup is going to look like, and we're going to get into the season. We're going to try and have a decent record, stay around 500 till the trade deadline, and hopefully build a contender over the off season for that 8th spot. So the next thing I decided to do is go out, fire my scout and fire my trainer, and pick up a really good scout. I'm talking A+, A-, and then go out and get a new trainer with an A+ potential at least. That's one thing I like to do, is keep my team with the best head scout and the best trainer, because I like to find them gems and have the ability to scout the maximum amount of players you can scout during a season. As you see, we're gonna get the season started. We're gonna get a few wins. Phoenix is gonna come back to the table offering us Tyson Chandler. So I obviously know they want to move Chandler. So I'm gonna use that against them in the future. Hopefully to get something from them this season. Now we started off 3-4, which is basically what I expected. Stay around 500. And then Rondae Hollis-Jefferson got injured, and we had to do some scouting. So the road I decided to take with the scouting is I'm gonna not scout Ben Simmons, Jalen, Brandon Ingram, Buddy Hield, all these guys where I know what they could do. I'm gonna scout all the guys I don't know much about, and then near the end of the season, if I'm happy with the amount of players I have scouted, I'll scout the Ben Simmons and the Jalen Browns, just so I know where they are on my rankings and everything like that. I just want to have a solid idea of who to draft and who not to draft. So I don't know if it happened already, but yeah, here it is. Dislocated patella from Larry Sanders, which is gonna keep him out for the whole 4 to 6 months. And I had to put Patrick Patterson in there, and this actually turned out to be quite well. I don't know if the team was just starting to get our team chemistry back together, but we just went on a crazy win streak to get back to 500. And you see right here, I'm scouting Isaiah. I really like Isaiah as a point guard. But yeah, the team goes on a win streak right here to get us to 500, 5-game win streak. And do we continue? No, we lose to Miami, but we beat Orlando. And back with the scouting again. So this is what I want you guys to do for me in the comments. I want you guys to tell me what you think about the series. If you're interested in this relocated franchise, seeing what we could do with it. I have big plans for the series. I think it's going to be fun. As you can see right now, we're the 8th seed. We're actually in the playoffs, and the Pacers are not, which I did not notice while I was making these trades. I didn't notice that the Pacers fell out of the playoffs, and I ended up trading away the 2016 first round pick from the Pacers and the 2017 first round pick from the Clippers to the Celtics for my first round pick. Now, all along I planned to start tanking at the trade deadline, but I didn't know the Pacers were already out of the playoffs. I would have kept that pick, and I would have moved maybe 2 other picks to Boston, and maybe I could have had 2 draft picks, 2 first round draft picks in the lottery this year. But I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been. As you can see, we fall out of the playoffs right there. We're still in it. We're at the 7th seed right now. We moved all the way up to, I believe, the 5th seed at one point before we go on our crazy little tanking spree right here. So come around here, we lose to Memphis, and our season just went downhill. It's the trade deadline, and I'm about to start wheeling and dealing. So the first trade that goes down, well, almost goes down at the trade deadline, is Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. Now, Rondae's kind of weird because I like him. He's averaging a double-double right now for me. He's a great defender, but he can't shoot the 3-ball at all. And I'm trying to build a team that's run and gun and shoot, you know, and he can't do that for us right now. He's a great defender. I like my players two-way, and hopefully he could develop into a two-way player. But the first trade that goes down is with Portland, as I send Brook Lopez to Portland for Mason Plumlee, I believe 2 second-round picks and a future first-round pick. I think that's what went down. And Myers Leonard. I keep saying Plumlee. The second time I've recorded this, and I said Plumlee last time. The next trade is for Shane Larkin and Wayne Ellington to Sacramento for Seth Curry, yeah, and 2 second-round picks. Next trade is for Patrick Patterson to Phoenix for a second-round pick. Sonny Weems and Tyson Chandler, as they're just trying to move Tyson Chandler. It's ugly contract. And I want another second-round pick if I'm going to take on Tyson Chandler, and they want Salone, which I'm down with. I really don't have much use for that guy, but he's still a solid player. Now, let me see. The next trade that we decide to go down with is moving Tyson Chandler back to Dallas. Yes, every time the man needs somewhere to go, you just send him back to Dallas. As we basically do a straight-up trade with Dallas for Jeremy Evans and Tyson Chandler, because Dallas did not want to give us anything else for the man. So I just did a straight up trade, and they were down with it. Last game of the season, Actually, no, I was not. I was because we played the Raptors the last game of the season. So when I saw the Raptors logo, I thought it was the last game of the season. But yeah, we're gonna simulate as we're gonna get a few more injuries and we're gonna go on a crazy long losing streak. This is just the team chemistry, everything. Nothing was working for us in the second half of the season. I was pretty happy with it, to tell you the honest truth. I didn't want to win much games. I didn't want to lose like 20 games in a row, but I didn't want to win many. So yeah, we finish off the season and I go to check the standings to see where we are, and this is when I realized that I messed up. The Indiana Pacers are 30-48. They have the same record as us. The same record. So Boston's in the same situation as us. And what's it called? They're gonna end up having the first round pick again because of the Pacers, and we're playing the Pacers right now. I'm praying that we lose to the Pacers, and it actually looks like we are gonna beat them. So I had to hop in and I had to do my best, Byron Scott. Like, I had to be the commander of the tank. I had to be tank commander right here. I go in, I put in my worst players in every single position, and I turn coaching to manual, everything like that, and I just go on a run. I just threw the game, to be honest. I threw the game. I allowed the Pacers to come back in the game, and I actually allowed them to tie the game, and we had to go to overtime for them to get victory, but they ended up going to overtime, and the Pacers ran away with the game in overtime, and we ended up losing, and I was kind of happy with it. Tell you the honest truth, because I want to have the worst record in the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference is actually really bad near the bottom. I believe, like, at halftime, at what's it called, the trade deadline, the Lakers had like 13 wins. They were looking pretty bad. I don't remember what they had at the end of the season, but I remember us. I remember that we were fighting for like the 5th pick with Indiana, so it wasn't even like the number 1 and number 2 pick. It was like the 5th pick. But it seems like every team in the NBA won at least 25 games, even teams that were in the lottery. So it kind of explains why we had such a good season. As you see, I'm showing you the rankings right now for who was in the lead for Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Most Improved. Mario Chalmers is another player that's on my target list for free agency. Hopefully we can pick him up. Solid role player, and I definitely think he could be an asset on our team next season. So CJ McCollum did win Most Improved Player. Tyrone Lue won Coach of the Year, and I believe Westbrook was MVP, right? So our boy Rondae Hollis-Jefferson made one of the all-rookie teams, first team, and he was averaging a double-double almost all season before getting injured. As you see, we were 2 games worse than Indiana, so we are the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and the Golden State Warriors win in 5 games. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this series, as Draymond Green is gonna run away with that finals MVP. Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Vince. I don't think Kobe retired, but these are the guys that retired from the NBA this season. Hopefully you guys enjoy. The next videos are off season. Peace out.